Hey there, John from My Solar Home. Welcome to my latest video. I'm going to be talking about solar panel prices and battery prices for homes in the US. If you're planning to go solar, maybe take up a lease or purchase a system or finance a system, this would be a good video to watch. I'm going to give you a good idea of how much you should be planning to budget and spend for solar in today's market in 2023. Now, while I was doing research for this video, I looked online for solar panel prices and reviews, and there are lots of reviews, but there are no solar panel prices or battery prices anywhere that I could find. Most of the sites are either solar calculators or sites which are basically trying to get you information so that they can give you a free solar quote. So all that is fine and dandy, but it's really difficult to find out how much you should actually be planning to pay if you're going solar. So this video is going to fill that gap to some extent. So stick around. In this video, I'm going to tell you how much you should be paying for your solar today in 2023. To get started, first, we got to make sure you're a good candidate for solar. So there are three things you need to look at. Number one, solar is really meant for single-family homeowners. If you live in a condo or in a high-rise, or you don't own your home, then it's going to be difficult. So it's basically for a single-family homeowner that solar is a viable option. Number two, your electric bill. It should be at least $100 a month. If it is less than $100 a month, it's not too great, the solar proposition. Anything over $100, solar makes sense anywhere in the continental US. And number three, of course, is does your home get enough sunlight? Now, it's pretty easy to find out if your home gets sunlight, but you got to know that for solar panels to really work well, they need sunlight all the time. And when I mean all the time, I mean all the time, the entire day from morning to evening. So if by chance you have a roof which has got sun access, but it gets shaded for an hour a day, it's not particularly good news. And the reason being that even a little bit of shade can reduce the solar panel's output atrociously. For example, if that roof had no shade, in a full day, it might have produced 100% of energy. Even if that roof had shade for half hour, that 100% production could plunge down to 60 or 50%. That's correct. It makes a big difference if you have shade on panels. So make sure that if you're planning to do solar, your roof gets adequate amount of sunlight. When I say roof, there are roofs which face the right direction. Like anything which is a south-facing roof is the best. The next best are east and west-facing roof. They're pretty good. They're almost as close to a southern-facing roof's output as you can manage. But a north-facing roof, even if it gets a lot of sun, is not really very good for solar. So if you have a large north-facing roof, you could do solar, but instead of needing 10 panels, you need 20 panels on the north-facing roof. So the financials and the economics really get battered if you have a north-facing roof. So south, east, and west-facing roof, no shade. If you have shade and you see shade some time of the day, trim your trees or cut your trees. I don't like it, but that's how it works. So before we get down to how much you should be paying for solar and how much solar costs, we got to first get to know how many panels we actually need for the home. So there is a very easy way to find out how many panels you need. I've actually made a video on my channel, and there's a link below in the description. It's very popular. A lot of people watch it. It gives you an easy way using a simple calculator to find out how many panels you need, and it's reasonably accurate. Use that to find out how many panels you need. Once you know that, then the prices that I'm going to be sharing with you soon will make sense. Now, in terms of Let's say you find out after looking at your electric bill that you need 20 panels. The other thing you need to make sure is, hey, do you have enough room for 20 panels? So of course, your first option should always be to put the panels on your roof. Panels on the roof are definitely cheaper to put than panels on the ground. And if you're thinking of putting panels on the ground, you need more area than on your roof. For example, on your roof, every panel takes about 20 square feet. So if you need 20 panels, you need about 400 square feet of roof. Plus, you need a little extra to allow firemen, etc., to walk up the roof. But if you need a ground-mounted system, you need practically double that area. Also, you need it to be, since it's much lower down, you need it to be, no trees around it, has to be completely in the sunlight. And thirdly, panels on the ground are definitely more expensive than panels on the roof because the installation process involves digging in holes, pouring in concrete, putting in a foundation, and then putting racking on top. So it's kind of expensive. Be prepared to pay at least 25 to 40% more for a ground mounted system compared to a roof mounted system. So now you are ready. You know your home is good for solar. You've got an electric bill which is big enough. You're the owner of the home and you're ready to go solar and save a lot of money. So how does pricing look like? Pricing, of course, depends on what type of solar you're planning to go for. There are three main flavors of solar. One is the solar lease or the solar PPA, power purchase agreement. The solar lease and the PPA are essentially very similar to each other. Now, this has had a bad reputation for some time because it's very, very easy for a solar salesman to come and bamboozle you and give you figures which are erroneous, show you big savings when there aren't. And there are a lot of companies which do this. They sell you solar leases which really don't save you money. But now with the new fixed priced PPA or solar lease, things are much easier. You can be in charge and you can make sure that solar and the lease of the PPA will definitely save you money. So the secret sauce is only go for a solar lease or a PPA that is fixed with no escalator. And number two, look at your electric bill today, add up how much you've paid for the whole year. For example, if you add it up and it comes to $1,900 or so for the whole year, make sure the amount you will pay the solar company for solar is 20 to 30% below that, and it's fixed. So now if you're paying $1,400 or $1,500 a year for solar, and that bill never goes up, I mean, it's going to be $1,400 or $1,500 in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, then the solar lease, the PPA is a really good deal. You save a lot of money, sometimes even more money than when you buy the same solar system with a loan. So the solar lease of the PPA is the first option, and the prices that I'm going to give you soon for that option, I am only talking about fixed PPAs or fixed lease prices where the prices do not change year over year. Now, with the solar lease or the PPA, the solar company owns your solar system. They take care of maintenance, warranty, all that stuff for 25 years. They own the system. You only pay for the energy that the solar system produces. With the lease, you don't have to worry about maintenance of the system and whether it's producing, not producing, etc. As long as you get energy, you pay for the energy. If you don't get energy, you won't pay for it. And you are always paying a fixed amount. If the energy production goes down, you will pay less. If it goes up, you don't have to pay more. You still pay whatever you contracted for. So the fixed price, fixed PPA is a pretty good option today. The second type of solar that you can do is, of course, you can buy solar, buy it with a loan, financed. The finance option, on the other hand, is a little more expensive than the lease or the PPA option. And the reason is that finance costs have become so high now with the Fed's increasing interest rates. The real cost of solar financing is in the region of between 10 and 11%. Of course, in a bid to sell you solar, a lot of solar financing companies, they give you an offering which says 3.99% or 4%. But what they don't tell you is that the rest of the cost of that loan is actually bundled into the price of solar. So if the cash price of the solar system were 20,000, when you get that 3.99% low interest loan, the price of the system is increased to 27, 28,000. So the easiest way to find out if there are these costs built into your system is, of course, to ask your solar salesman. But unfortunately, because of some rules and regulations, they're not supposed to disclose this to you. Especially the financing companies, they will simply not tell you that there is any charges or fees built into the price of your solar system. But an easy way is ask him what the cash price of the same system is. If the cash price is lower than your finance price, then you know that your solar salesperson is an honest guy and is giving you the right prices, because there is a definite difference between the price you pay in cash for a solar system versus a finance system. The only time they could both be equal is if the loan offered is a 10.5 or 11% interest loan. Then, because it's the true cost of money, yes, the solar system's cash cost or the solar system's cost if you finance it, both of them could be equal. But if a solar salesman tells you that my cash price and my finance cash price are both equal and I am giving you a loan which is 3.99%, then there is something definitely fishy going on. Look for another quote from another solar company. You are likely to get a lower cash price than what that solar salesman is offering you. Because there is always a difference between a finance price of a system and the cash price of a system if the loan interest rate is in the 3.5, 4, 5% range. There will always be some amount of fees built into the cost of the system. Most solar companies have financing options. You will have a monthly payment. These are usually more than the lease payments which we talked about earlier, but you own the system. And since there are a lot of states in the US like South Carolina, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Maryland, many more that have a lot of incentives, purchasing is a very good option. Even with a loan, you can save a big amount of money, especially in the states with state incentives. You even save even more money. Now, of course, the biggest incentive for solar is the 30% tax credit. If you pay $25,000 for your solar system, 30% of that you get back as a refund of your federal taxes, your federal income taxes. It's really very easy to get. It's a single form. You search online and look for solar tax credit IRS form. You will see the form. They only ask you about how much you paid for your system, ask you to multiply that by 0.3 or get 30%, and that's what's your refund's going to be. Of course, if you do not pay federal income taxes, this doesn't work because it's a refund against taxes that you owe Uncle Sam, federal income taxes. So when you go solar, you're basically getting money back from the federal tax credit. Number two, your electric bill is going away. I mean, it doesn't go away to zero, but $5-10 a month. So that's a big expense which is gone. And the third is state incentives. A lot of states give you additional money. Some give you something known as SRECs or solar renewable energy credits. It is basically money that they give you every month because your solar system is producing green energy. They send it to your bank, and in different states it works differently. But for example, in New Jersey or Massachusetts, you get money for 15 years or so. In Illinois, it's a wonderful program. They give you all the money up front. As a result, if you are a solar buyer in Illinois, you get 30% back from this federal income tax credit. You get another 25 or 30% back from your SREC. So upfront, you've got 60 or 55 to 60% of your money back. You're only left with 40% of the cost of the system. It's a really, really good deal in a state like Illinois to go solar. I don't understand why everybody in Illinois is not going solar. So if you're looking at your solar options, you have financed option, which we just talked about. And the third one, of course, is cash. Cash is always king. You will always get the lowest prices with the cash option, and with the 30% tax credit, your electric bill is going away, and state incentives on top of that. you could potentially recover your solar investment. In many states, it takes barely 5 to 6 years. And in states where you have very low electric rates, like Texas, it might take longer, maybe 9 years or 10 years. Texas, for example, doesn't have any incentives, so it takes a little longer. But in any state in the United States, you will recover your money back before it's 10 years. And that means you're going to have at least another 15 to 20 more years of benefits going on after that. That means your electric bill will still continue to be very low, $5-10 going for another 15-20 years. And those savings, they really add up. So versus not going solar and going solar, the difference is usually $70, $80, $90,000 over the lifetime of your solar system. Solar is a great investment. Okay, so we're here. Let's look at how much you should actually be paying for a solar system and for batteries in the US in 2023. Of course, these are generic prices. If you're looking for a specific solar quote for your particular home, you could write to me. I'm John at mysolarhome.us, or book an appointment with me on my calendar below. There's a link there. Or you can call me at 609-908-3700. I work with nationwide solar installers across the US, and I can help you get a really competitive solar quote. I've broken the pricing into 3 different segments. One is if you have an electric bill of approximately $100, I'm assuming you'll need about 12 solar panels. When I'm saying 12 solar panels, I'm talking about, high efficiency 400 watt solar panels like the Q cell panels or the REC panels, etc. So $100 a month average electric bill, or 12 solar panels for your system, category 1. Category 2 is a $200 a month average electric bill, or 24 solar panels. And category 3 is $300 a month on average of your electric bill, or 36 solar panels. Now, the reason I both have a price as well as a number of panels is because different states pay different amounts for electricity. The same amount of electricity in California could be twice the cost of the electricity or the price for electricity that you pay in Texas. So depending on where you are, you can use this price matrix to get an idea of how much you should be paying. You can either do it by using your monthly electric bill as the proxy for finding out your payments, or the number of panels that you need. I've given both the options. So let's look at the first option. You have an average electric bill of $100 a month, and to offset that $100 a month electric bill, you need a solar system with about 12 400 watt solar panels. That's a 4.8 kW system. And you should expect, if you go for the lease or the PPA option, to have a fixed price of between $70 to $75 a month. That means you're going to be essentially saving about 25% of your cost from your current electric bill. But remember, the good thing about these leases or the PPAs are that $75 or $70 is going to stay like that for the next 25 years. Today, you might be saving 25%, but in 5 years, you'll be saving 40%. And in 10 years, you'll be saving maybe 60 or 70%. And over time, the savings really build up. So that's option 1. Option 2 is if you buy the system yourself, taking a loan. And if you take a loan, expect to pay a little higher, maybe between $80 to $85 a month. So a little higher, you'll save a little less now initially, but over time, again, this stays fixed. Plus, remember, you're going to get your incentives, which are local to your state. You're going to get your tax credit back. So buying has got other advantages which are not there with the PPA or the lease. So overall, the savings that you get from a finance purchase system are usually a little higher than the lease system. But in some states, it might be better because the local incentives are better. And finally, cash is always king. If you plan to buy the system, budget between $14,000 to $15,000 for an installation of this size. Our next category is an average bill of about $200 a month, or a system which needs about 24 solar panels. That's about a 9.6 10 kW kind of system. If you go for that kind of system, expect to pay between 135 to 145 for the PPA or the lease, fixed price every month. You'll save about 60 to 65 bucks a month on your average bill if you go with this option. If you go with the loan option, your monthly loan payments will be slightly higher at 150 to 160 a month. So you'll save between 40 and 50 bucks a month initially. And like I said, over time, the savings really blow up. And finally, if you think you want to pay cash for this system, your price will be in the range of between $29,000 to $31,000. Of course, these cash prices are before your 30% tax credit. So your net price that you'll pay is going to be 30% less than this. Plus, of course, you will have your incentives. If your state has them, you potentially could be talking about 50% or 60% off, depending on where you stay. So the third category, $300 a month average bill, you would need about 36 panels to cover that kind of usage, which is a 14.4 kW system. Now, the least price that you should expect to pay for that size of system is between 200 to 210 bucks a month. That means you'll save about 100 bucks a month if you go the lease route. Remember, that's only today. Over time, it really blows up. If you're taking a loan, you should have a monthly payment of between $220 and $235 a month. But again, you get to keep the incentives, tax credits, all that good stuff. And as always, cash is king. The cash price of a system would be in the region of $42,000 to $44,000. Next, let's look at battery prices. Now, there are 4 battery vendors who are really doing well today in the US, who've got nationwide networks, excellent after-sales service. They're basically Enphase, Tesla, SolarEdge, and Franklin. There are a lot of smaller manufacturers who are there. I worry that many of them won't be there to service your batteries 10, 15 years from today. If you stick with these big guys, they're probably likely to be around, at least higher probability than the smaller players. Now, how much should you expect to pay for a fully installed battery in your home with everything done, control panels, sub panels, loads, etc.? For a 10 kWh, 13 kWh sized battery, expect to pay between 13 to 15,000 bucks fully installed. And for a 20 kWh battery, expect to pay between $21,000 to $23,000. So those are the 2 most common sizes. If you go higher, the prices will go up not as much. So there you have it, prices across different categories and different sizes. I hope you like this video. If you're looking for a specific quote for your home, don't forget to write to me. I'm John at mysolarhome.us. Call me 609-908-3700 or book an appointment with me on my calendar below. There's a link below there. I'll help you get a specific quote for your solar system for your home. I work with nationwide solar partners across the US, and I bring you really competitive prices and excellent equipment. Thank you again for watching. You have a great day.